असंगोऽहम् 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 पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहम् सच्चिदानन्द असंगोऽहम् पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्यशुद्धविमुक्तोऽहम् निराकारोऽहमव्ययः भूमानन्दस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्योऽहम् निरवद्योऽहम् निराकारोऽहमच्युतः परमानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः शुद्धचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् आत्मा रामोऽहमेव च अखण्डानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रत्यक्षचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् शान्तोऽहम् प्रकृतेः परः शाश्वतानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तत्त्वातीतपरात्माहम् मध्यातीतः परशिवः मायातीतपरञ्ज्योतिः अहमेवाहमव्ययः नानारूपव्यतीतोऽहम् चिदाकारोऽहमच्युतः सुखरूपस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः माया तत्कार्यदेहादि मम नास्त्येव सर्वदा स्वप्रकाशैकरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः गुणत्रयव्यतीतोऽहम् ब्रह्मादीनां च साक्ष्यहम् अनन्तानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः अन्तर्ज्योतिस्वरूपोऽहम् कूटस्थः सर्वभूस्म्यहम् सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षिरूपोऽहम् अचलोऽहं सनातनः सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रज्ञानघन एवाहम् विज्ञानघन एव च अकर्ताहम् अभोक्ताहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः निराधारस्वरूपोऽहम् सर्वाधारोऽहमेव च आप्तकामस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तापत्रयविनिर्मुक्तः देहत्रयविलक्षणः अवस्थात्रयसाक्ष्यस्मि अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम्.
Hari Om. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's invoke the prayer, power of praying together and lighten our hearts. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryankara vavahai tejasvina vadhitamastu ma ved vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, the Omnipresent, who also has the divine names Antakaha and Ajaha, to such a glorious Supreme Almighty, together with Shraddha, Bhakti and Prapatti, we offer our humble-most salutations. To seek His grace, His mercy, His blessings, His love, His compassion, His benevolence, His forgiveness, His strength. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities such as Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, Mumukshutva, in a much more enhanced proportion. But this is only and only to understand thy true self, to have the first-hand experience of the divine power right within ourselves. And that experience can happen only by your sheer grace. We beseech in you again and again to bless us with this rarest of the rare opportunity. Om Tat Sat. Today we are on our Divine Discourse number 464 by the grace of Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara. On this 17th of February 2026 and the Aparoksha Anubhuti, episode 51. स्वस्ति श्री विश्वावसुनाम संवत्सर उत्तरायण शिशिर ऋतु माघ मास कृष्ण पक्ष भौमवासरे अमावास्यातिथौ धनिष्ठा नक्षत्र परिगनाम योगे नागवकरणे. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all reaffirm our pledge, our oath, our goal in life. Naham karta, hari preranaya, hari prityartham. We are not the doer. The Prakriti is in play with the divine forces. And every aspect we see in the universe, we perceive in the universe, is all ordained by that Prakriti. And it is He and He alone who has become everything. This is one of the greatest mysteries. One can rarely get to understand, believe, and eventually experience it. Our journey is to that reality. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Let's move ahead, offering our salutations to the Guru Parampara once again. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome. Okay. So, as we have seen now, the techniques, the teachings, they all have been rendered to us. Now, normally what happens once anything is told, the next thing is, what could be the difficulties one would face while pursuing this study? So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he makes it clear in the verse 127 and 128, which you can say are a combined verse. He gives the probable hurdles which a sadhak could experience. And in fact, when we were studying, it used to like, okay, we don't know. They are telling us, let's make a proper note of it, understand it, and as we move forward, maybe it may come of use to us. And as you practice, you will see precisely those are the issues which come as a hurdle to us. So here we should understand what they are saying, and not only understand, but you should practice that you don't fall into this trap. That is the teaching over here. So we'll understand today 127, 128, and 129 and 30 is again some kind of caution which they are giving. So we'll try to look into that. And see, as you all know, our goal and intention is not to enrich ourselves with knowledge. There is no end to it. Whatever we are going to learn, there is tons and tons and tons. One lifetime will not be enough. But now within that short period what we have got, how fast can I reach that goal? That is the way I personally have designed, because that is my goal as well. We all have limited period of time in our favor. How can we go? What is the shortest route? That is what we are doing over here. So now the question comes of some techniques which now and then I'll be sharing. You will have to make a note of it and try to see what suits you and then get established in that. So today we'll try to learn about the fasting, where everyone has a routine. Some fast on a particular day of a week, some fast on Ekadashi, and other different days. So here, many of us are doing the 24-hour Ekadashi fast. And who have advanced, they are going for a 36 hours. So now, during this 36 hours, what if we combine it with Nirjal? Meaning not even taking liquids. Liquids means even water. How it can boost your sadhana. See, I am telling you why we need to know this is, anything which you want your mind to get convinced, to make it do, you have to give it logical reasons. That's how a human brain works. So how to make the mind convinced? So those aspects I will be sharing with you. That is about the fast. Now we come to one more technical term known as metacognition. What is this metacognition? And how is it? Now neurologists, neuroscience is talking about this, and how can we connect it to our scriptural study? And since we are a sadhak now, that becomes our life. So what has metacognition got to do with our lives? And then we'll also, another aspect which can seriously trouble us is, oh, we have been on the bhakti marga. Like I do 2 hours puja in a day, somebody will say, 2 hours without fail. I don't even touch water till I do this, my ritual. So they are into devotion, bhakti. When I get on to the Jnana Marga, means what will happen to my bhakti? So here, how this issue is addressed by the scriptures and by the great masters which we have seen in the past. So that also we will try to learn about. There are 2 stories about Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and his Guru Sri Totapuri. Okay, we'll try to understand that. And then eventually how devotees can, as I told you, rise above, and what would be the next step? Are they going to completely be dissuaded from following the bhakti and doing their rituals which they had earlier? Why one should not be doing that for their entire life? Because there is something more to it. So that way all this will learn. And then of course regarding the story, now why I'm keen to talk about that is, I'm going to exactly read verbatim from the Bhagavatam book. There this particular king who has lost his son now, I told you his son was poisoned, and he gets the Brahma Vidya. That is one thing which we are going to learn. Exact words we'll get to understand. What is that Brahma Vidya, how it was told, and what happened. And then thereafter, Vritrasura, whom we saw, he was a demon. And how when he left his life, we saw that his life got merged into Lord Vishnu. What is the story behind it? Once you are aligned with the universe, the whole universe is aligning to make something for you. It has to be prepared. See, now you're going to your own home, let's say. And as soon as you go, you'll see it's lunchtime. You'll see beautiful dishes coming to your table. One after the other, things will start coming. The salad will come, and then a starter will come, then the vegetables will come, the dal will come, and rice, so many things. Now, you mean to say they just happened like that? No. While you were doing something else, all this was being cooked for you. So in the same way, now as we are listening to this, as we are doing various other chores, universe is constructing what is in store for us. Understand this. And anything which comes to the table, accept it as your prasad. Don't even question it, because now you have completely surrendered yourself to the Lord. You say, I know what you're doing is good for me. If something bad comes to you, know that it is a lesson which has been taught to me. Whatever way, now it is a kind of an exercise where it is trying to make me stronger. And if something good is coming to you, then know that it is a test. Don't just get swayed into that goodness. It is a test now. God is giving you something and seeing how you're going to behave with what you're getting. So in this way, we'll try to learn about all this and we move ahead. Okay. So we go to straight 127 followed by 128. As I told you, they are combined. So we'll take both together. The invocation mantra. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya continues. Samadhau kriyamane to vigna ayanti vai balat anusandhana rahityam alasyam bhogalalasam. I'll take the next verse also. Layastamascha vikshepaha rasaswadascha shunyata evam yadvigna bahulyam tyajam brahma vidashanaihi. Now, as you all can see, let's read the direct meaning what we are getting to see here. While practicing samadhi, there appears unavoidably many obstacles, such as lack of inquiry, idleness, desire for sense pleasure, sleep, dullness, distraction, tasting of joy, and the sense of blankness. So one desiring the knowledge of Brahman should slowly get rid of such innumerable obstacles. So the same meaning is given here as well. Okay. Now we'll dive into understanding what these obstacles are, what do they mean, and how one should overcome. Okay, come. So, as you can see, anusandhana rahityam. This is one thing which is, one second, anusandhana rahityam. What does this mean? Now this precisely means that one has to be associated with swadhyaya. That's very much required. Otherwise, you will slowly drift. Without your knowledge, you will drift away. On a continuous basis, the scriptures, they claim that you have to be associated with the texts, which the scriptures are talking on a regular basis. So forgetting the anusandhana rahityam, where that self-enquiry. How does this self-enquiry happen? First is shravana, listen. Then comes manana, reflect on what you have listened. Reflect and see for yourself. See, like for example, you are getting ready to go somewhere, and you come and see your face in the mirror, and you see there are some spots on your face, something you don't understand. So just now I had a shower and I clean myself, my face, my body properly. What is this? It's looking like this. How do you say that? Because you're reflecting in the, you're seeing your reflection in the mirror. So in the same way, now what you have listened to, unless and until you reflect, okay, can I say what I have listened? Can I say it to somebody with that same amount of clarity without loss of any info? Can I do that? So that reflection has to happen. That is known as manana. Now after this comes the next stage, which is nididhyasana. Now once you have reflected, which means now you have heard, then reflected, now it is your self-knowledge now. Am I able to experience what is being said over here? You book a holiday and the travels tell you, sir, please go to this place. You will have a gala time of your lifetime. Meaning, he promises you so many things. Okay, now you go there. Won't you look forward to what he had said, he or she had said? You will have one of the most beautiful experiences of your lifetime. Did you really get that kind of an experience? Was it something which was not, which you had seen earlier anywhere else? So now this knowledge, which it is talking about, is it coming to your lively experience or not? And now what is that which we are looking over here? We are talking of a dehypnotization. We are hypnotized now. With what? Ajnana. Ajnana in the sense, not knowing our true self. We do not know our true self. Now once this knowledge starts getting implanted, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And eventually you will see that it has to become an experience. Unless and until, the first stage is information. The final stage, what should happen is transformation. Otherwise, that information what you have got, if it does not result in transformation, then it means the steps, the first and the second step, are not happening. And this has to happen on a continuous basis. See, don't we dust all the artifacts in our home? Not only artifacts, even the furniture also. We dust on a regular basis. Why? It is that the nature is dust will come and settle on it. And you can't say, I have dusted yesterday, I will dust now, once again after a week. No, you have to do it daily if you want things to be in the right way. So this loss of self-enquiry will be one thing which your mind will now say, Arey, you know everything, don't worry, you have got everything now. So it will try to push you. Don't fall into that trap. Earlier we have discussed about this. Yoga Vasishta. He says, tell the mind clearly. See, mind is a part of our integral system. You cannot just remove it out, because we need the mind to do our daily activities. You have to tell, oh mind, what you are offering to me, I am not interested. See, these are what Yoga Vasishta is telling Lord Sri Rama. Clearly instruct the mind before you are doing your sadhana or before you are doing your meditation. Says, oh mind, oh my dear mind, what you are offering to me, I am not interested. Very clear. It's a transactional term. Then you say another level. You know, it will say, what? Why are you saying like this? I know. Come, I'll give you information about the Bhagavad Gita which you are studying extensively. I'll give you about that Upanishad which you are studying. I will give you info about that. and I will give you bhajans, this, that and all. Now this is a trap. The mind will slowly try to take you into that, and then it will push you out into the world. So tell the mind that what you are offering to me, I am not interested. The next level comes. What I want in life. This is second part is very important. What I want in life, you can never offer it to me. Because as the Upanishads say, that it is beyond the level, beyond the reach of the mind and the senses. Mind cannot tell you what Brahman is. So tell it, what I want, you can never give to me. So for that reason, please don't disturb me. Mind your own business. That way. This way you train your mind and you focus it. So this is the loss of self-enquiry. Anusandhana rahityam. Okay. That. Now we move to the next one. Alasya. Alasya is laziness. I don't have the right mood. Some kind of a lethargy. You want to meditate. Now what do you meditate? First you calm down your mind. Then with a calm mind, what do? You do your manana. The second part. That information has to eventually come into a state where there are no doubts, no contrary understanding, and no doubts in any manner. Come to that state. Yes, I am not this body, mind and senses. We have been telling this again and again, listening to it again and again. Now put another positive thought along with this. I am not this body, mind and senses, but I am that consciousness which is appearing as the body, mind and senses. See, many things will come as a self-realization for you. Suddenly you will see that something which you have been listening to and contemplating for so many years, you will see that the same thing comes in a different way. So it is, I am not this, but I am that consciousness appearing as this body, mind and consciousness. Today I gave you one term, metacognition, I told you. Now what is that metacognition and how science, neuroscience is treating metacognition today? Treating in the sense considering it. That we will get to understand. And what exercises we are doing, you will be completely shaken by understanding, my God, what these scriptures have done to us in our lives. And we will never have understood the depth what the scriptures are talking. So, focus. If the mind is trying to tell you, there are techniques. I told you, do Brahmari Pranayam, Anulom Vilom. And then if you further want to charge your brain, start with Kapalabhati. And see where this boredom will run away, it will never come to you. So even before you can take a cognition of whether I am in the right mood, I am not in the right mood, don't get into that state. Just do this Kapalabhati and Brahmari and Anulom Vilom and see how your mind charges. Okay, so this is the Alasya. Then comes Bhogalalasam. This is where we get caught. Bhogalalasam. Because we have come from that segment of society, or you can say segment of our own fraternity. We have so many friends, so many relatives, constantly in touch now. Now to be in touch is so easy. 50 years back, what you had a landline. And I remember in the 60s and early 70s, you had a telephone at home, and you didn't have anything to dial over there. You lift the phone and then the exchange will come. The exchange operator will come. You will have to tell him the number, and then he will connect you to that particular number, and then you communicate. Talking to somebody outside your own place is like a trunk call, and then that was all sheer nonsense. It would never happen. It was, even if you get connected, what you say they don't understand, and what they say you don't understand, but you know that both of you are shouting at each other. Okay, so that was the communication. There was a hurdle. But now anybody from anywhere, they can send you a text, and then there is a constant booming of messages coming to you, the media. So when all this is there, tell me now, how can you stay at peace? You are constantly dragged. Somebody will say we have a kitty party, and somebody, we are going for an outing, we are going for a movie, here we are going for a concert, we are having a potluck. No, how many? And vacations. Then of course after that you have weddings, you have engagements, and it doesn't stop with that. One couple getting together means there will be at least about 6-7 celebrations to follow. Now imagine, now the fraternity has gone so much, and if you start attending everything, your life will become that. So you have to see where to go, how much to go, and where to draw a line. And this is where he's saying, what happens when you go there? You just get engrossed there. Bhoga lalasam. What you eat over there, what you listen over there, what you do over there, and it completely ruptures your entire lifestyle. So one should not fall a prey for this. Why I am saying this? Because our goal is to attain that self-realization. Just like a mother, she is pregnant, the doctor says, look, you have a very delicate situation. 2nd month, 3rd month onwards, till you deliver, you have to be extremely careful, otherwise there will be a miscarriage. Now what will the mother do till then? Till the time she delivers, she takes extreme care. In the same way, we here, our aim is to go for that self-realization. Till the time we reach that destination, don't look here and there. I am telling you, this is something which, if you do not take it seriously, you will not achieve it. This is not a subject which is by the way. No, there is no by the way over here. It has to be complete focus to your best extent possible, because there is somebody who is observing you. The divine is observing you and understanding how much of effort you are putting in. But actually, if you have to see the truth, it is he and he alone who is doing through this body. But what one can at least do is pray that, yes, oh Lord, you have selected this body. Now who is that who is selected? That consciousness. Who is that consciousness? You are that consciousness. Now those are the deeper understandings. But till we reach there, we have to follow this. Bhoga lalasam. Bhoga, enjoyment. Lalasam, you are getting invitations. So craving, invitations. Be careful about that. Then the next comes laya. Alasya is laziness. Laya is where you think you are meditating actually, but you are in a state of sleep action in that position. You may feel, oh, I have come to a state of samadhi. But Bhagavan Shankaracharya warns us, he says, it is not samadhi, you are actually going into a mental dullness, a kind of a semi-sleep state. So know that difference and be careful. Why? Because mind sometimes, when it is tired and when you have not had adequate sleep, if you try to meditate, you will go into laya, you will not be able to reach the higher state of dharana, dhyana and samadhi. So this is the laya. Then comes Vikshepa. Yeah, Vikshepa is distraction. The moment you sit to meditate, during the day, what all you are not able to remember, you say, it's at the tip of my tongue, I don't know. It's here, it's at my throat, but I'm not able to tell you. All that will come to your mind at that point. Whatever you are trying to not remember, all that will come. Unnecessary thoughts, sometimes guilt, and then fear, then errands, then doubts. So, one has to first charge your brain. As I told you, do the pranayam. This will take care of all this. Like it will take care of your laya, it will take care of your vikshepa, and also in terms of your alasya, all this. So, first thing before you start doing, and if you can take a shower, well and good. That also, like apart from the mind, your body is also fresh. You need not shampoo your body or apply soap and all that. Just go below a shower, that's it. Cold water and sit down and you will see. Because preparation for anything is important. So we come to the vikshepa, wandering of mind. So now you have controlled your mind. And as I told you what Yoga Vashishta taught us, tell this mind. Just like when we are going into a room, let's say, you tell somebody that, look, I am going to now meditate for the next half an hour, please don't disturb me. We say that, right? And don't come and call me saying that somebody, there's a phone call for you or somebody has come for you. Know that for the next half an hour, I am not available. So in the same way, you have to tell your mind again and again. What you are giving me, I am not interested. And what I want, you cannot give me. Okay? In this way, vikshepa. Then comes rasaswada. Rasaswada is you reach a state of bliss. That experience of bliss is much before understanding the true self. Now some, they just stop by over there. Like you're going for a movie and everybody's saying, hey, rush, it's already late, come. Now what happens? You see so many nice things outside over there. You want to buy popcorn, you want to buy coffee, or there is something else which is being promoted over there. You say, wait, I'll come. And where you go? You go to the stalls over there. Your purpose was to go for the movie, but then how you got distracted? So this rasaswada is before you experience the true self. There is some kind of a joy which does not allow you, that is the blissful joy, which will not allow you to go to the next level. Now this will be a personal experience as and when you go to that state. See, here there are many things which you only will be able to bifurcate. Sometimes you will say, now is this at the level of the mind? Or is it at the level of the witness? Or is this consciousness? So all these will come. That has to be addressed to on a one-to-one basis. But in general, if you are talking, there will be a state where you are experiencing complete bliss. But don't get stuck over there. It is known as, that is not the pure self. Use your knowledge and rise above. Where whatever kind of thoughts, guilt, whatever is coming, cross everything. And the last one is shunyata. Shunyata is another state. These are all confusing states when you are trying to reach the true self. Where there is complete emptiness. Now when we do the Sakshi Bhava meditation, what is that state? That is nothing but the state of shunyata, where you observe your mind first, and then what you do is you start observing the thoughts. Now the thoughts which are coming, earlier what we used to do, we used to start getting entangled with the thoughts. What that thought came and said, Arey, that friend of yours, he had said that by tomorrow I need to confirm about the party. I forgot to call them. Okay. I think I should confirm tomorrow. And by the way, did I ask my spouse about it? So then it goes on. That one thought can take you to another. And if that is over, another thought will come. So there, you have to look at the thoughts without any judgment. And as you see that there are, without any judgmental attitude, then the thought says nobody cares, nobody bothers over here, and it just goes away. So you have to come to that state. And now that is the state of shunyata, that's a void, where there is complete blankness. That also gives you a lot of peace, and it is refreshing. Now the question comes is, you have to lift yourself in the state of the true experience, which is about that knowledge. Now how will that happen? When you have filled your mind with that same thought of, the divine thought of Brahman, again and again. Now I will be teaching you those techniques. Now the other day I was telling you, I coined a word tab. The third one I was not able to recollect immediately. First one is thought. Second one is A is action. We get a thought and we get into action. And the third one is breath. Now, breath is the foundation for your entire life. Now, you want to be connected with the divine. As I told you, the universe can be described in 3 words, which is energy, vibration, and frequency. This is so simple. Now, this comes in the Upanishads. Pratibodha viditam matam amrutatva vindyate. Consciousness is throwing up to such an extent that you don't have to look around for it. It is so evident. Now if I say, I can hear, what is the meaning? If somebody tells me, do you have ears? I say yes. How do I say I have ears? Because I can hear. If somebody says, do you have eyes? I say yes. How can you say that you have eyes? Because I can see. So now what is that consciousness? Now here it says, now apply this principle, these 3 fundamental aspects of the universe: energy, frequency, vibration. Now what is vibration? Vibration is nothing but breath, which we are constantly in association. So if you are breathing, know that the vibration aspect of the universe, you are connected. You meaning this jiva. Now that universe is what? That consciousness. Consciousness reflecting on this body while breathing is that one part of the universe is being experienced by yourself over here. So that is that experience. Now you have to live in that experience. Now thought is coming to you. That is nothing but the frequency, because the brain waves have got 5 frequencies. It's operating either of these 5 frequencies. So the frequency of the universe reflecting on the mind generates frequencies in the mind. And then the energy. See, now I'm talking. You need energy to talk. To listen, you're sitting down somewhere, you're making a note, you're making notes, or even to listen, you need energy. Now all this energy is coming. So do you need anything more to experience that consciousness? Now these are the simple techniques. You don't have to sit and meditate all the time. Just keep thinking. You're talking to somebody. I'm connected with the energy aspect of the universe. A thought comes to my mind. I'm connected with the vibration aspect of the universe. I am breathing. That is vibration. Thought, frequency. So this way be constantly connected. This is one of the techniques. Tab. So thought, action, breath. So these three energies are nothing but that consciousness reflecting in us. We have got nothing to do over here. We are really not doing anything, because the very fundamental aspect of our breath is controlled by the universe. Now you say, I am doing or I am existing, where if that breath next moment is not there, you are not there. As simple as that. So the seventh shunyata, say, don't get lost in that void. Cross that void. So these are, they say these are kind of traps, and they can actually derail your spiritual realization. See that you don't fall a trap to these traps, and protect yourself. And if you want to look in the positive way, what you have to do now, the same thing, let's say, have a schedule where anusandhana rahityam, that I am going to do my swadhyaya. Swadhyaya can be by listening to a lecture or by reading to the scriptures and reflecting upon it. Read something or listen to something and keep thinking about it. So anusandhana rahityam. So make a timetable. Then it comes to laziness. Now when you have made a timetable, then there is no question of laziness too, because I have to do this at this particular point of time. And you start your day with the pranayam. In between, as you have cups of coffee and tea, these refreshments, now this is the most effective refreshment. Keep having once in 2-3 hours, keep doing this pranayam. Just simply do that. And then be very careful when a phone call or an invitation comes. Now start cutting down. You can't be everywhere. Now that is not your goal. As I always give the example, if you are preparing for some extraordinary test, now you want to go to the top 10 unis of the world. Now you are preparing for those examinations for IIT, IIM, that needs that extra effort. You can't be hanging around with your friends, and at the same time you can't be studying and getting into such kind of league universities. No, you have to be at one place, at your place of study, and completely focused till the time you get into your goal. But does that stop there? After you've got greater assignments. Okay, that's the next level. So bhogalalasam, be very selective of where you're going, what you're doing, and how you're leading your life. Then laya, so that again is taken care when you do your exercise, you have adequate sleep, in between take some 10 minutes of power nap. And what is a power nap? A power nap is a state where you don't go off to sleep. You should go to that state where you're just entering that sleep state, but you come out. And how do you do that? Say you're lying down on a cot. Keep one hand on this side of your cot, which is slightly outside the cot. Keep a spoon over there in your hand, and keep a plate below that spoon, and you do your shavasana. You can keep a recording, Yoga Nidra, and go on deep into that Yoga Nidra. And what you do is, when you are about to get into that state of sleep, you will see that the spoon moves out of your hand and it falls on the plate, and there is enough sound for you to wake up. So that is the right method of doing a power nap, not going off to sleep. So do this you have to schedule in your daily routine. And once you do this, then there is no question of vikshepa, because your minds are now in order. And I told you, use the sentences of what Yoga Vasishta has been telling Sri Ram. Then the last two challenges are rasaswada. Know that bliss is not that where I have to go. I have to go into the theater. My job is not to be at the stall. So see that as far as possible, as fast as possible you enter the theater, because you have come to see a movie over there. So that is your main job. Don't hang around in the don't hang around outside the theater that way. And shunyata, what we say, that emptiness has to be filled with the knowledge. So that happens when you are again and again thinking of the Brahman status. Okay. Now 127, 128. Now I'll just briefly tell you what is this benefit of the Nirjala. See, this has to be practiced with in a particular proportion. Don't immediately go for that. First start with a 24-hour. See, any which case, everybody does a 12-hour fast. You eat in the night, and then next day you have a breakfast. Almost 10-12 hours is a fast. That's why they call it as breakfast, meaning break fast, breakfast. Okay. So now what you are doing, you are extending that till the evening. You are adding another 12 hours to it. That's all. That becomes a 24 hours. Now during that time, you can start with the morning. Start with what you say, fruits, and then evening also you can have light snack. Now this is for some few months, 2-3 months you do this, and then instead of those two, give up one. You give up the fruit in the morning, or you retain the fruit but you don't have anything in the evening. Okay. Then after having given up both that fruit and that snack, then come on to some liquid like tender coconut or lime and honey, cinnamon, that kind. You have a drink during the day. And after you have done all this, then come to plain water. Then give up water. Now you have done a 24-hour fast, Nirjal. Then try to aim the next 12 hours. Now see, again the next 12 hours is you are actually sleeping. So your challenge is between 3 p.m. to say about 6-7 p.m. depending on what time you are having your meal. Assuming that you are having an early dinner, so based on that, only that 3-4 hours is your challenge. If you cross that, then you fall into the 36-hour league. So this way, if you start practicing. Now, how does this help? So this has got profound psychological, physiological, and you can say even the neurological benefits. Now, first one, what happens is your metabolic shift happens within your body. This has got great benefit for your health also. But apart from health, what happens is, that is what we are interested as spiritual seekers here. Health will be like top class. If you are able to do a 24-hour or 36-hour fast twice a month, it will be great. Okay. Now we are looking at a 36-hour fast and a state where there is Nirjal. Okay. Now, this shift happens how? This glucose to ketones, they say. So by 24 hours, the body has almost depleted all the glycogen. That is the stored glucose in your body. And then it shifts to burning the fat. Like whatever savings you had. Now you have finished all your savings. Now you go to the next level, something which is like an FD, what was there in your account, current account, savings account, everything is over. Then you break your FDs. In the same way, here that glycogen gets depleted after 24 hours, and then comes the stored glucose. Now, what happens here is, that is important. After that 24 hours, when the ketone is being produced, now that ketone, which is a fuel, as we spoke about, it is from the fat which is this ketone bodies are coming now. That is a more efficient fuel for the brain. This is the catch over here, or this is the thing we need to understand. What is coming from glycogen? Yes, it is a fuel. It's not that it's not fuel for the brain, but the ketone is a much more powerful fuel. Like you go to a petrol pump, they ask you, sir, special ya sada? And what is the difference? There is 10, 15, 20 rupees difference per liter. Nahin yaar, sada dal do, we say. Sada. But special. Now that special fuel has got its own benefit to the engine. In the same way here, the ketones have got that benefit. Now this improves your neuroplasticity. Now imagine whatever changes we are making in our mind, all those changes have to be properly plastered in the right manner. Are you going to use any kind of a cement for your construction? Now say a cement bag is 100 rupees, for example. Now you're getting somewhere at 80 rupees. You will say, no, I want from a renowned brand and I don't mind paying whatever is the price, because that neuroplasticity is where the new connections are being formed. You say, I will use the best material. So this ketones will help you for better neuroplasticity. And then comes with that kind of a neuroplasticity, you will see that there is more clarity. I have personally experienced when the next day morning, after you have now crossed about, say in the Brahma Muhurat, meaning about 4 a.m. let's say, you have crossed 32, 33 hours already, and your ketones production is happening in full swing. At that time you sit for meditation. That manana, what we talk, clarity about whatever you have understood. I am not this body, meaning I say stop, why are you going ahead? Very clear, I am not this body, mind and senses. How can I be this body and mind and senses? That is so well plastered. You don't have to complete the sentence also. So that way, that mental clarity has to come. So with this, then you see your other benefits are, there is reduced inflammation, then you have that oxidative stress, what we talk, that all reduces, and eventually your brain is quiet and it is also stable. Whatever information you're taking, all that will be very well plastered. Now then again comes the hormonal and neurochemical changes. Now there is a hormone which is released at this point of time, which is not released in other situations. That's the beauty over here. Only when you cross that, you come to that 24-hour, or you cross that, you have this. It is known as the norepinephrine. I don't know how they pronounce this, but this is how it looks like. So that increases that sharpness and alertness. What you need for getting this information, you will get from this norepinephrine, this enzyme which is, and then this BDNF, they talk, brain derived neurotropic factors. Now all that which help us in supporting our true understanding capability. The insulin levels drop. There is no craving. Everything is at rest. The other advantages, autophagy, the cells which are constantly dying in our body. 32 crore cells die in an hour. Now all that has to be cleansed. Now why is cancer at a rampage nowadays? Because of all the wrong eating habits. So much of cells are dying in the body and they are not going out. How is that they were going earlier? And why is it that it's not happening now? Earlier, if you see, they had a regime in terms of eating. They used to not hog like us. Somebody will say, come eat this, we put it in our mouth. You have to give that break. So during this autophagy, that is after 18-20 hours, the cells which are there, they eat the dead cells. So they clean up the whole place. See that beautiful cleansing which is happening in your system. Otherwise, those dead cells, they become cancerous. So now, this kind of a situation, that inner detox happens. And now coming to that enhancement of our dharana and dhyana, all this is happening because we are in that state where we are supplied with the utmost high level of fuel, the ketones which are there, and then you are having that alertness by way of the hormone which is being released. Now With this scenario, now you see for yourself, whatever you are not able to understand in the normal course of learning, all that you will suddenly see, how is this I am understanding all this now? So this is out of personal experience. And then I added to this Nirjal, I added Mauna. Now that has got another advantage, that's the next level. How whatever energy you had, you have conserved that, and I will talk about that in another session, where it has got the next level advantage. Okay, so this way you do the Panchakosha Viveka. The hypnotized self, which we are at this point, you dehypnotize by using all these methods. Now we come to, I was talking of the metacognition. Okay, so now what is this metacognition? Let's understand that and we'll move ahead. Okay, now recently neuroscience is talking about this. They say this metacognition is not done, it's not the highest having high IQ, it's not about logic, it's not about your great memory, or it's not about your speed in process. Now they say this is the rarest intelligence which we can see in a human race, which is completely different. It's not there in everybody. And they say most people never develop it in their entire lifetime. They may be having a great memory, they may be having great IQ, they may be having great tactical, logical sense, but this metacognition is not everybody's cup of tea. And they say the people who are following this metacognition, they say they quietly grow in their own space and they outgrow everybody. So the highest form of intelligence, they say, is in today's world, it is metacognition. Now what is this? Is the ability to think about your own thinking, which in other words is Sakshi Bhava. That's all. Now we are seeing our mind. See, how do you know a sadhak if he is progressing? First is, if normally what a person says, that guy was an idiot, I tell you, he doesn't know how to behave. This is what a common person will say. But then, if you have grown, you will say, why is my mind thinking about that person on these lines? If this thought is coming to us, that means it could be of others or it could be about me only. Why am I getting angry unnecessarily these days? It's not just a very casual statement. Many people say, I get angry and all. No, but you should be meaning what you're saying. Why am I getting worried unnecessarily these days? Why am I getting fearful unnecessarily these days? Meaning, you are watching your mind. You are now developing the ability to think about your own thinking. You are not allowing your mind to go on an autopilot. Autopilot state is for animals. They are all built on autopilot. We are the ones where we have this special ability, which is in the prefrontal cortex. We have this, and this is that anterior prefrontal cortex they talk about. This region starts developing when we start observing the mind. Now see, in Sakshi Bhava what we are doing? We are constantly observing not only the mind, we are observing the thoughts. Of course in the mind, then the emotions, feelings, memories, ideas, and then we are observing the body. We are observing the senses. Why is this disturbing me now? Why unnecessarily? No, my senses are not stuck to one place. They are running all around. why is this happening? So this way, when you start observing, that is the Sakshi Bhava. So they say this metacognition, where you have the power, just like you have the software, you have a hardware, you have a, let's say, a laptop or your own phone. Now in that phone, don't you have the capability to change the settings? So settings are nothing but the software, and you have the capacity to change the settings of your mobile. In the same way, here what you can do is, if you develop that sphere of metacognition, you will be able to change the settings from anatma to atma. Your viveka shakti, you use that viveka shakti and say this is not required. Earlier what was there? You are going on autopilot. You get a call. Hey, we are going in for a movie evening. Yes, I'm in. You give a thumbs up. Now here suddenly you are observing, I got a call. Now my mind is saying, yes, we should go. I think you need to take a break. Mind is so concerned about us. It gives you all sorts of ideas. You know, you have been working hard these days. I think you need to chill a bit and all that. No, I am not going to get into this trap. And you tell your mind, I need, what answer should I give now? So without hurting the other person, give a decent answer. Now this is the role of the metacognition. You are not falling for it suddenly as an autopilot, but you are able to think with your capability of discretion, that is the discernment capability, and with a sense of, you have a commitment. I think I have a goal in my life. Now unless and until I reach that goal, I am not going to be extravagant in all these things. So this is what is the power of metacognition, which we need to develop. Okay, now we come to another aspect is, I am on the Bhakti Marga. Now you are telling me to be continuously, focused on all the aspects of study and Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Then how can I reach that state? So there the question comes that now it also happened with Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So it so happened that he was all the time doing puja of Ma Kali. And it is finally when you have reached a stage in bhakti, next stage is to come to achieve jnana. Bhakti is what? Dual, where you have God and you have the disciple. But here you are now talking about oneness. Ekameva Advitiya Brahma. There is only one power who is seen as different. Now how do I get to that state? So he was in that state of bhakti, and Mother Kali, now she tells him, look, there will be one guru by name Totapuri, because he was in conversation with Ma Kali, and he will tell you what to do next. So Paramahamsa says, oh, Ma Kali, you are telling this? Fine, I'll wait for him. And there appears Totapuri. This was in 1859. Okay. And Totapuri was an Advaitin, a hardcore Advaitin, who was constantly in the state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi and who knew what the oneness of the entire creation is. So what he did was, he also knew that this is happening, because now Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is in the Saguna Bhakti. Saguna means devotee and God. Now he has to move to Nirguna Jnana, that formless knowledge. So both of them meet up, and then he tells, Totapuri Maharaj tells Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, now look, you must go beyond all names and forms. You should constantly meditate on the formless absolute. Leave behind your kalima and all the dualities. Put all your mind on that one consciousness, the infinite, attributeless. Now, okay, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, I'll do that. And eventually it so happened that he sits for meditation and suddenly his mind slips. It takes it towards Kali. When it is Kali means like it's mother, so he gets into the state of meeting his mother. That love, that affection, that compassion, all that is coming. So he's used to all those feelings which he used to get. So he says, no, I'm trying my best, but I don't know. Again, my mind is going towards Ma Kali. Then he says, next time when Ma Kali appears in front of you, take this sword of knowledge and cut her with that sword. He said, what are you saying? How can I do that to my dearest? He says, who sent you to me? Ma Kali sent, right? Yeah, then I have to listen to you. So then Sri Paramahamsa, he sits there, and whatever method he has taught in terms of reaching that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he is sitting in that state, and when Ma Kali appears before him, he uses that sword of knowledge and he cuts the form. Now suddenly he says, this jnana which he experienced, slicing the form of Ma Kali, he reached that state of samadhi, and they say for 3 days he was in that state. Totapuri is seeing Paramahamsa and is saying, I am a realized Vedantin, but I myself am amazed to see it has taken me years to achieve this state. And see, here we have Sri Ramakrishna, who has just got it like that. So here another aspect we should understand is that bhakti in Sri Ramakrishna was at an exalted level. So if you are having bhakti, and if you get the krupa of Bhagavan to follow this jnana, that means you are absolutely well prepared. So now this happens. Now then Sri Ramakrishna, he was in that Nirguna, and then once in a while he used to come back to Saguna. So when I think of Mother Kali, he says, I see her as a form which is the Saguna Akar of that Nirguna Brahman. So she is that pure consciousness, but when I want to see her as a form, I see her in front of me. So she is playing both ways. In this way, from the form to the formless, formless to the form. And in between one more situation happens. He was doing this, but he says, somehow I'm not able to stay for long. This happened in the later part of 1859. In the first quarter or so, the first aspect happened, and after about 4 or 5 months, he sees that he is not able to concentrate. Then one day, Totapuri Maharaj, he takes a broken piece of glass. See, they used to stay in the outskirts of the town, where people go and they must have drunk and they had thrown those bottles and all that. So he takes one broken glass piece and he hits him on the forehead. And that's another state where for 1 week he went into samadhi, they say in the books which have been written on Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So this way, that path to the formless You don't have to suppress your devotion. It just needs that maturity and understand that there is no duality between us. This is what is extremely important for a devotee to understand, not to leave this. Now, how does a devotee, what should he do? So there is some very good explanation which I can tell you. Bodhat prakatadvaitam mohaya prapte manishaya. Then bhaktyartam kalpitam dvaitam advaitadapi sundaram. Meaning, here it says that duality, bodhat, which appeared before realization, as it appeared to Sri Ramakrishna, Mahakali, God, and he is a devotee. So, before realization, that duality, Dvaita, appeared. And now, what is the cause of this what is the cause of this? Moha, delusion. He doesn't know. Yeah, God, I am He, Sarvasva, and I am Sarvagnya and Alpagnya. So that way, he knows that I am just a devotee, and whereas he is all pervading. So, but when the true discrimination, meaning Manisha, when that dawns on the Bhakta, then he says that duality which was imagined, Kalpita Dvaitam. Now that duality, he says, I have got the knowledge and I know that I have created this duality. For what? For the sake of devotion. I want to be a Bhakta for the Bhaktyartam. Now he says this is more beautiful, Sundaram, than the non-duality which is Advaitadapi. See, it's very clear over here. A Bhakta has risen to the standards of non-duality, from duality, and having experienced that duality, he comes back to from non-duality to duality, because he says this duality has got that amazing experience. And what does Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says? Established in Advaita, non-duality is like becoming sugar. But whereas being in duality, bhakti, is like tasting sugar. So he says, I like tasting sugar, I don't want to become sugar. And there's one more anecdote. This is about, Dasya Bhava of Hanumanji. He says, Srinathe Janaki Nathe Abhedam Paramatmani Tatapi Mama Sarvaswam Sri Rama Kamala Lochanam. He says, Srinathe Janaki Nathe Abhedam. I know he is Paramatma, Abheda Paramatma, but Tatapi Mama Sarvaswam. He is everything to me. This Ramachandra Lochanaha, the one who has got the eyes of like Kamala, like the lotus-eyed Sri Rama, is which I want to see him again and again, again and again. Anybody beloved to you, don't you want to see them? It could be anybody, children, spouse, whomever you like. Now, that Hanumanji says, I know he is the Abhedam Paramatma, but he is that very sight of him makes me where I come back to duality. So those who are performing, who are on the path of bhakti, maintain it, but rise above, go to the path of non-duality, reach there, and whenever you want, you come back, and then again go back and be established in the non-duality. Okay. Again, now I think the story goes for a toss. We'll take it next time now. Okay. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Navama. Come. We now have to. We have verse 55 and 56. the last Namavali of verse 55 and the first of 56 we are doing today. 520 and 521. Jivo vinita sakshi mukundo mita vikramaha ambho nidiranantatma maho dadishayontakaha. Dadishayontakaha antakaha. Antaka means the death. As time, he is the one who brings about constant changes in the world, without which no evolution or creative development is ever possible. So for the next process to happen, that antaka has to happen, the dissolution. That is antakaha, one who does that. And now verse 56. Ajo maharya swabhavyo jitamitra pramodanaha anando nandano nanda satya dharma trivikramaha. 521. Ajaha, unborn. As the changeless and deathless reality, he has neither birth nor any decay. Unborn in philosophy means undying, therefore eternal, changeless. Born, that is Jaya, to Lord Vishnu, is yet another meaning, and according to this interpretation, the term can suggest Pradyumna, son of Lord Vishnu, who is considered to be in our Purana an incarnation of the Lord of Love. Pradyumna. To such a Supreme Almighty, Antakaha and Ajaha, we offer our humble most salutations. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Okay. Now we take the blessings of Lord Dhanvantari. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. We pray to Lord Dhanvantari to keep our body, mind, senses intact, make us eligible to receive this eternal knowledge. Till then, protect us from diseases and ailments. Om Tat Sat. Come. Now, let's go to the Sakshi Bhava meditation. But as I told you, there we are not going to see that shunyata, that void, where there are completely no thoughts. That will happen. But during that time, what we should be doing is, when the inhale is happening and you switch to the exhale, that void is pure consciousness. That gap, that switch, what we call, is that consciousness. Try to establish yourself in that switch. Then again, when from the exhale getting back to inhale, there is an again switch. So just keep your mind on that switch. Earlier what we used to do, we say first we did prana vikshana. Just keep looking at your prana continuously. Your inhale and exhale, inhale, exhale. That is the first level. Now to overcome this shunyata, you have to focus on that switch. Okay, so I'll just take you through all these stages: inhale, exhale, and then to the mind, and then we come to, when I say switch, just focus. Initially it may be a little difficult, but it will come, don't worry. You can easily master it over a period of time. Just don't focus on the inhale or exhale, that's all. Be established in that void, in that switch, you will get it. Okay, now all of us, let's sit in a comfortable position, head, neck and spine in a straight line. Keep your body, mind completely relaxed. Now observe your breath, prana vikshana. Observe the inhale and the exhale, the complete process of inhale and exhale for a few times. Understand that this breath is one of the three fundamental realities of the universe, under the name vibration. Now let's slowly come to observing our mind. The process of observing your mind is also known as metacognition. Distance yourself to the mind, and just like you're seeing somebody else, see your mind. See the thought coming in your mind. Being non-judgmental, you see that there are no thoughts coming to your mind. Now slowly move from the frequency, you're moving back to the vibrational aspect. Now the difference is, instead of focusing on the process of inhale and exhale, watch out for the gap between the inhale and exhale, and vice versa. Let's start. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together we offer today's Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Seek His grace, mercy and blessings. Naham Karta Hari Karta Hari Prerana Hari Prityartam. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat. So you must be wondering, how can we see the gap between the inhale and the exhale? But as you go deeper and deeper into this practice, what will happen is that gap, inhale and exhale, all three will become one, which means there will hardly be any kind of a breath which you will be able to notice. It will be a very shallow inhale and a very shallow exhale. It will be like as good as that switch. So try to achieve that state. Slowly the mind calms down. The more the mind calms down, you will see that the breath also keeps calming and calming. So and then you will not be able to see the difference at all over there. There will be a slight switch happening over there. That way. Okay. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat.
Ahamevahamovyayah Dvandvadi sakshiropoham Achaloham Sanatanaha Sarvasakshi Swarupoham Ahamevahamovyayah Prajnana evaham Vijnana evacha Akartaham abhoktaham Ahamevahamovyayah Niradhara swarupoham Sarvadharohamevacha Aptakamaswarupoham अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः